Hey guys, Scare9 here, welcome back to my channel today, and in this video we are going to be ranking every single set of ornaments within Destiny 2 in Season 3. Now this season is a little bit different than previous seasons just because there's a couple of cases that sort of count but not really, so we're going to be going over the standard Vanguard set, the standard Crucible set, all three of the factions, Iron Banner, of course, all of those are pretty standard, but then we also have to account for Eater of Worlds and Spire of the Stars because both of those ornaments released during this season, and then Solstice of Heroes also has the blue, the green, and of course the legendary variants. However, since we have already pretty much had the green and blue variants as armor sets within the game, to some extent at least, I'm going to go ahead and leave those out. So the only Solstice of Heroes ornaments that we are going to be going over is the fully upgraded purple or legendary versions of the armor sets. But yeah, as always, if you don't agree with my list, let me know why down in the comment section below. Which set do you like that I didn't, or vice versa, and let me know why and which shaders you like to run with it down in the comment section below. But with that being said, let's just go ahead and jump into it. So now at the number 27 slot, we have the Warlock Vanguard set, which I believe is what I put at the very bottom of the list for Season 2 as well, and that's just because the set looks really bad, and the ornaments never change enough of this to fix that. You always look like a bug. The robes look terrible, you have this disgusting orange that can't be changed with shaders, and you know, the entire thing just sucks, and that's why this armor set is what I consider to be the worst, and that of course is not changing with these ornaments. Now at the next slot, we also have another Vanguard set, which is going to be the one for the Hunter. While the Season 2 set of ornaments at least changed the geometry a little, these ornaments for the Season 3 version just changed the design on the top of the armor, and that's really it. In my opinion, it's a very basic armor set, no one really runs it, and that's for a good reason. It doesn't look that impressive, and the ornaments definitely don't do enough to fix that, so that is why it is going this low on the list. The next one is going to be the Warlock ornament set for the Spire of Stars armor. Now, I really dislike how this armor looks like to begin with, so the fact that nothing really changes, majorly at least, with these ornaments definitely does not help rank it higher in my opinion. It doesn't look great, the ornaments don't do a lot to change it, it's honestly just a silly armor set, and that's why I have it in the number 25 slot. Now, the next one on this list is going to be yet another Warlock raid set of ornaments, but this time it is going to be for the Eater of Worlds armor set. Once again, the base armor looks really bad and really silly, but at least this ornament accepts shaders a little bit better than the Spire of Stars ornaments for this same armor set. But once again, it's pretty much the same thing. It doesn't look great, so I pretty much have to put it down here on this list. Now, the next one is going to be the same armor set, the Eater of Worlds set of ornaments for the Hunter. Now, the only change that this really makes is adding a golden glow to various pieces of the armor. Now, in the inventory screen, this doesn't seem all too impressive, but out in the world, the glows are actually interactive, they look all right, and on Hunter, that is especially noticeable. You can see the pulsing, you can see how it's moving, it looks all right. That being said, it's on an armor set that doesn't look all too impressive, and because it doesn't really change the geometry or many of the designs at all, it really still just doesn't look that great. Now in the next slot, we have the Titan set for the Vanguard. Now, while this doesn't change the base armor set pretty much at all, it still looks all right. The changes on the design patterns makes it take shaders a lot better than the base set, and it's not half bad looking in terms of geometry as it is. It's fairly clean, and if you're looking for a basic armor set that doesn't require a lot of endgame activities, let's say you don't want to do like Iron Banner and complete those challenges, you don't feel like grinding out Escalation Protocol, you don't do the raids, but you still want a decent armor set, this might be one for you to consider if you are a Titan main. Now, the next one is going to be another ornament set for the Titan, but this time it is going to be for the Eater of Worlds armor set. Like the other two Eater of Worlds sets, these ornaments don't really change a lot about this armor in general. It really just adds a golden glow with some Cabal designs all over the different pieces of the armor. Now, this does not do a ton for the armor set, but it does help it look a little bit better than the base set, so I do have to rank it a little bit up, especially compared to different armor sets like the Xenos Veil set for the Warlock, which just does not look good with or without the ornament. At least the golden glow makes this one a little bit more tolerable. Now in the number 20 slot, we have come up to our very first set of Faction Rally ornaments. This is going to be the Future War Cult set of ornaments for the Titan. Now, all of the Future War Cult ornaments, for me at least, are definitely the least impressive of Season 3. Now, that being said, I do very much appreciate the change in color scheme that they got between the seasons. They used to be that blue, yellow, and red disgusting combination. Now they're really just focusing on the blue and yellow, which doesn't look half bad with a lot of different shaders. That being said, this armor set is fairly basic. It has a weird design that doesn't look great in a lot of situations, and especially on the Titan, the shaders don't seem to really work as well as I personally like them to. Luckily, the other faction sets this season look a lot better. Now, the number 19 slot is going to be yet another Future War Cult set. This one is going to be for the Warlock. Pretty much the same things to say about this one. It's not the worst armor set in the world, but it's nothing super impressive. I like the new color scheme. It looks all right, but it really isn't super unique or super cool compared to some of the other armor sets in the game, so I'm going to have to put it this low on the list. The next one is going to be yet another Warlock set, but this time it is going to be the full ornament set for the Crucible armor set. Like with the rest of the Crucible armor sets, these are some of the coolest armors in the game, especially from a base appearance level. They're very clean, they're very sleek, and the ornaments of Season 3 do quite a bit to expand on that awesome design. However, because there are some pieces that really are tied to the Crucible, you get a lot of blue or red that you find won't change with different shaders. And unfortunately, that does mean that you pretty much have to rock like a black or white shader or something like that. You can't use any green or yellow because it really doesn't flow that well. Those blue and red streaks don't really change colors. So even though this armor set looks really cool on a geometric scale, it really doesn't look that great with a lot of shaders, which is definitely going to knock off some points. Now in the number 17 slot, we have the final Future War Cult set, which is of course going to be the ornaments for the Hunter. Now this is by far the best looking ornaments for any of the Future War Cults in pretty much Destiny 2. I personally feel like they get cheated a lot with nice looking armor. They definitely haven't had any great offerings up to this point, and I really hope this changes going into Season 4 and the Forsaken DLC. They've done a very fantastic job with New Monarchy, especially this season with Dead Orbit. They did a great job with the redesign, but Future War Cult needs some very cool armor to make people go and pledge to them just to entice people a little bit more. Coming in next to this list, we have the full ornament sets for the Crucible Titan armor. Now, once again, these ornaments always look pretty nice. Bungie does a great job with the Crucible sets. However, once again, there's a couple of streaks in here that are blue or red that does not change with shaders. However, there are far fewer on the Titan set versus the Warlock set, so I'm going to rank it a lot higher because it does look nicer in more situations. If you can find a good shader to fit that color scheme that it has, it does look really good, but once again, you're kind of limited in what you can use. And then the final Crucible set, which is the one for the Hunter, can be found at number 15. Once again, a couple of blue streaks, a couple of red streaks, but luckily on the Hunter, they're really isolated to the class item, which doesn't look half bad with 90% of the shaders in the game because it's so discreet. It's pretty much always behind your character model. It doesn't look that bad, and it's pretty easy just to blend things in with it. The rest of the armor also looks very good in terms of base design. It's very sleek, it's very clean. It's something that I personally don't mind running because it looks so cool. Now in the number 14 slot, we have another Hunter set, which is going to be the full ornamented set of the Spire of Stars armor. These ornaments change the armor sets quite a bit. Instead of adding just a simple glow, it changes a lot of the base colors, it changes a lot of the geometry in terms of what you have on your arms and that type of stuff, and then it also adds really cool designs all over the set. It's nothing drastic, but it's more of a change than just adding a little bit of a glow to different pieces. Now, even though this set isn't the nicest looking armor set in the world, this ornament does go quite a ways to salvage it, so I'm definitely going to rank it quite a bit higher than the Eater of Worlds set. And then coming in right above that is going to be the ornament set for the Titan for the same Spire of Stars armor set. Now, I've always thought this armor was extremely goofy. It's very silly. I feel like Bungie wasn't taking it very seriously when they were designing it because it just doesn't look that great. And I feel like that's a common sentiment that goes across pretty much the entire community. That being said, these ornaments really do help it tie together. You can use a lot more shaders whenever you're using the ornaments versus just the base Spire of Stars armor set. And I think these ornaments just really help salvage what little you can of this very, very silly armor set. That being said, I really hope going into Forsaken, some of these designs are a lot better and look a lot more cool instead of really goofy and silly. Now in the number 12 slot, we have the Hunter set for the Dead Orbit armor. I love the entire redesign of the Dead Orbit theme where you have the green serpents going all over it while adding really awesome decals all over the armor set as well. Now, the only downside to the Hunter ornaments for this armor set is that if you are not using a black shader, the green designs don't really fit in because they don't change colors with a majority of the different shaders. Luckily though, Dead Orbit does offer 3 very nice black shaders that all look fantastic on this armor set if you are interested in running it, which I know a lot of people do like to do because it does look pretty cool. Now in the number 11 slot, we have the Titan set for the New Monarchy ornaments. Now I know a lot of people are not going to like my placement of this one. I don't like this nearly as much as most of my clanmates, and I definitely don't think it looks better better than the Season 2 set of ornaments for the Titan New Monarchy set. It doesn't take shaders nearly as well, and it also doesn't look that great in terms of a base aesthetic. It doesn't go that well with a lot of shaders. The base design just looks a little bit silly, especially in the helmet area. It's very long. I don't think it looks that great, and it just doesn't look nearly as good as either the Warlock or Hunter sets of ornaments for the same armor set in this season. So I'm not really sure what they could have done to make it better personally, but I'm definitely not feeling it. Now in the number 10 slot, we have another Faction Rally set, which is going to be the full set of Warlock ornaments for the Dead Orbit armor. Once again, I love how this thing looks, but the main downside is that there are green serpents all over it that refuse to change colors with different shaders. I love the change in the color scheme, but that should not be glued to the armor set. If you were able to change the colors of the serpents all over it, it would definitely look a lot cooler. That being said, the set still does look very, very nice. One cool detail that I absolutely love is the wings on your Warlock Bond actually seem to flap because they're animated, which is really, really cool, and that's just a really awesome detail that I'm glad Bungie put in there. Now in the number 9 slot, we have the final Dead Orbit set, which is going to be the one for the Titan, and finally we have a Dead Orbit set that the serpents do not actually remain green. Luckily, with this one, whenever you use shaders, they change colors to match that shader, which is very, very nice. It looks a lot better than the Warlock and Hunter sets in my opinion, and it's definitely one of the best Faction Rally armors we've had to date in Destiny 2 in my opinion. Now in the number 8 slot, we have the full New Monarchy set of ornaments for the Hunter for Season 3. Now this set is absolutely gorgeous. Not only does it change some of the armor's base architecture, but it also puts these really amazing designs all over the armor set. Now we already talked about this with the Titan. A lot of the red does not change colors with different shaders, but it actually flows very well on the Hunter character model. I'm not sure if it's just because the base architecture of this armor looks so much cooler. I'm not sure if the shader palettes are a little bit different in this one, but it does look a lot cooler than the Titan set in my opinion at least. This is what ornaments for different factions should look like, each representing a different faction while looking absolutely badass, and the Hunter set for the New Monarchy faction does a perfect example of this. Now in the number 7 slot, we have our first Iron Banner ornament set for Season 3, and that is going to be the one for the Titan. As usual, Bungie did an amazing job with the Iron Banner ornaments, and they're very top tier in terms of design in my opinion. They always do such a great job with keeping them to different themes, but also making drastic changes between the different sets. The Iron Banner ornaments have never been just small changes and designs and stuff like that. They're always very major changes that add different ornate designs and intricate themes to each of the different sets to fit the theme of that season, and I love the way that ties in perfectly with the Titan set in this one, making it just feel so much different than the rest of them and going very well with a bunch of shaders. In the number 6 slot, we have the Hunter ornaments for Iron Banner as well. Once again, it's one of the most unique Iron Banner sets we've had to date. Bungie always does a fantastic job with these. I just think it looks a little bit better than the Titan set. It's a little bit cleaner. The pants area still seems a little bit weird to me. They seem a bit high-waisted, but overall the designs, the aesthetics, the shaders that go with it, it all looks fantastic, and that is why it is number 6. Now we have reached the top 5 armor ornaments for Season 3 in my opinion, and at number 5 we have the Warlock New Monarchy set of ornaments. Now this is what Bungie should look to really go off of a scale on how good their Faction Rally ornaments are. We shouldn't get anything like the Future War Cult ones from this season. They should all look this awesome. This set features what could easily be considered one of the coolest helmets in the game, and in addition to that, everything else about it just looks really good. Once again, you can't really get rid of the red designs of this armor, but I do really love red, so that's not personally a problem for me. But honestly, like I said, Bungie needs to look at this and see what they did right with this armor set and really continue to apply that to seasons going forward, because this is what Faction Rally ornaments should look like in my opinion. They should offer something different and not look like armor sets that are pretty much already in the game. While this does resemble some other armor sets, it still does its own thing very, very well, and it's pretty much perfect. Now in the number 4 slot, we have the final Iron Banner ornament set, which is going to be the one for the Warlock. Once again, just another really amazing set for Warlocks, which is nice because in previous seasons, they really haven't had a ton of luck in the fashion department. This set looks very, very nice, and once again features an amazing looking helmet as the focal piece of the entire armor set to tie it all together, and it looks absolutely fantastic. It looks great with a ton of shaders, and all around is just a good example of what ornaments should be. They shouldn't just be minor design changes, they should be drastic changes that make the armor sets look insanely good, and this one does that very well. Now in the 3, 2, and 1 slots, we of course have the 3 Solstice of Heroes sets. You guys know these are some of my favorite armor sets in the history of the entirety of Destiny, and there's a lot to say of them. So I'm going to rank these: the Titan in the number 3 slot, the Warlock in the number 2 slot, and the Hunter as my favorite ornament set in Season 3. I really love how these Solstice of Heroes sets really tie together our journey throughout year 1 of Destiny 2. It goes from our base destroyed armor sets to just a really elegant, heroic set of armor that not only resembles our base armor sets, but also is combined with the Leviathan armor sets just to look absolutely amazing. And then in addition to that, the added feature of armor glows is extremely unique, and of course an evolution on the base concept of armor chromas from Destiny 1. However, these armor glows in Destiny 2 are much more in-depth and look much cooler than any chroma sets from the first game. They cover more of the armor. I love the thing where they glow brighter if you match your subclasses, and I really like how you can kind of make unique colors by combining different armor glows and different shaders. It just looks really cool. But yeah, I pretty much love all 3 of these sets equally, but if I was forced to rank them, I would put the Titan the lowest just because it's kind of the least unique in my opinion, the Warlock in the number 2 slot because it is very clean, and then the Hunter in the number 1 slot just because it looks freaking amazing in my opinion, and that's really as much detail as I can go into because they're all so cool and they're pretty much tied for the number 1 slot in my opinion. So let me know what you guys thought about this list down in the comment section below. Once again, what did you agree with? What didn't you agree with? Let me know what your personal favorite ornament set of Season 3 was down in that comment section below. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like rating and to share it with your friends. If you are interested in watching either of the 2 videos on screen, you can click their respective annotations to be taken to them. If you're brand new to my channel, make sure to hit the giant version of my logo on screen to be subscribed to my awesome Destiny 2 videos and live streams. Thank you guys so much for watching today, and I will see you in my next video.